these money out of those mula chitta. So we don't get anymore. But for the Brahmas, we cannot develop that. And also we say these five resultants may be also under to an embryo which dies in the womb or in an egg. So we should differentiate between primary and secondary effects of rebirth. So we say jara, marana, the aging and death are the primary and compulsory resultants of rebirth. Whereas the soga, prideva, dukkha, domana, samsayasa, that means worry, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. So they are not primary, so please go on. They are, no, not there. They are secondary, okay. They are secondary and optional resultants of rebirth. Okay.
咁呢個老死咧，頭先就解釋咗啦。咁跟住嗰五個咧就係愁啦、悲啦、苦啦、憂啦、怒啦咁呢五樣嘢咧，同頭先嗰個係有啲唔同㗎就係呢五樣嘢咧，就佢唔係一定會出現嘅，都要視乎你嗰個業啦，或者緣法啦，去決定佢究竟會唔會出現嘅，佢唔一定會出現嘅。咁所以咧係次級嘅佢唔係話最基礎嘅一個現象嚟嘅。咁佢係可以變嘅咁譬如咧喺梵天界嘅眾生咧，梵天界眾生咧係唔會有呢一種呢五樣嘢原因咧，佢哋係唔應該咧係有呢個有呢個親根所引發出嚟嘅親根心啦，所引發出嚟嘅心所咁當佢即係萬一咧，佢人真係有呢個親近心出現咗之後咧，梵天界嘅眾生咧係即時會停止存在，即係會死亡因為佢出現嗰個係同佢嗰個境界嗰個心咧係唔相應咁但係呢個係唔會出現即係當然咁我哋一般人咧，即係喺我哋欲界生存眾生咧，就好習慣於由呢個親根心所引發出嚟嘅各種嘅負面嘅情緒，同埋佢所帶出嚟嘅即係嗰啲唔開心嘅情況痛苦嘅情況但係其實係有一啲眾生咧係可以唔需要經歷呢啲嘢所以老死係必然嘅，但係咧後邊嗰啲愁啊、悲啊、苦啊、怒啊、憂啊呢啲係唔係必然嘅我哋唔一定要做呢樣嘢咁另一種嘅另一個例子咧就係一個胚胎咁咧呢個胚胎咧都冇呢一種即係特別係即係直情係喺呢個子宮入邊死咗嗰啲直情係唔會出現啲嘢。
So now we also explain what is meant by this worry, lamentation, pain, grief, etc. So soga is worry or sorrow. So it is the unpleasant feeling, domanassa, wicked. So you already come across this domanassa, painful mental feeling, present in two anger-rooted consciousness. And big deva lamentation and crying, weeping, is Chittaja Vipanlasa Saka Rupa. So which means mind produced reversal sound. So when the people cried or wept, so what is that? No. So they say it is mind produced reversal sound. So it is the outcome of great sorrow and the grief. So you get the lamentation. And dukkha, it is the bodily painful feeling. And domanassa, we also said it is painful mental feeling. And upayasa is resentment produced by excessive mental suffering. It is also anger. Those are present in the two anger-rooted consciousness. So when the people get this despair, there is the strong grief and resentment. So they cannot even weep, and then they even become unconscious. So that is called despair. So there's some ways of suffering that we encounter in life. And the Buddha said there is a great parts of suffering. Okay.
咁跟住落嚟咧，係我哋講咧係一啲次級嘅一啲嘅知啦，即係佢唔一定會出現嘅嚇。咁第一個咧就係呢個愁啦。愁咧其實就係一種嘅感受，係一種嘅苦受。咁咧佢就由呢一個親根心啦，兩種嘅親根心咧所引發出嚟嘅。咁第二個咧就悲咯，悲咧就係個強烈程度係過呢個愁嘅嚇。咁咧佢咧就喺我哋講阿毗達摩入面咧，佢所引發出嚟嘅就係一啲具體嘅一啲嘅釋法啊，譬如你喊啊、眼淚啊等等呢啲嘢喺度即係好唔開心咧，係引發出嚟就唔係單單係一個心嘅問題嘅，所以佢係有雙面嘅釋法咧，係會引發出嚟嘅。咁佢呢個釋法係點嚟嘅咧？就係由你嗰個心咧不停咁樣咧就出現不停咁樣做啦，咁咧引發啲類似嘅聲音不停咁樣去回音嘅東西咧，所以咧你不停咁樣轉下咧喊出嚟呢個就係呢個悲啦。咁跟住就到呢個苦啦，苦咧其實亦都係呢一個受啦，即係受嘅心所啦。咁同所有我哋講到個心入面咧有嗰啲憂嗰啲根嗰啲啦佢苦嗰啲啦包括係呢一個親啦等等嗰啲啦，佢所衍生出嚟嘅嗰啲苦嘅感覺。咁第三跟住學落嚟啦，第四個嗰個咧就係憂啦佢亦都係一啲嘅心嘅感覺啦，同埋啲心所啦。咁佢亦都係同呢個親根心咧係互相相應咁最後一個就冇啦亦都係同埋呢一樣啦。咁呢個係一種即係非常之強烈程度嘅一種嘅親嘅咁就係冇。
So we finish the 11 causal relations of dependent origination. Now we are going to describe some notable aspects or some important features of that dependent origination. And now we shall begin with on page 21312. So Jessica 312. So in 312, we have the 12 factors and the 3 periods. And then on page 313, so we have the 20 modes. The 20 modes that describe the 5 past forces, etc. And these are explained. They can be understood, can be seen very easily. So in the table, we describe on page 315. So nama is mentality and rupa is materiality. Instead of corporeality, we now prefer the term materiality. So when we get all the consciousness, mental factors, and then the materiality, then we get this number 5, Sandayana, that is the 6 internal bases. So here, instead of just saying 6 bases, you can put in internal, it's better. They refer to 6 internal bases. So the 6 internal bases, essentially, they make the 6 sense door. The eye door, the ear door, the nose door, the tongue door, the body door, and the mind door. So when you get the 6 sense door, so Sandayana, the 6 sense door, then the 6 sense objects come in contact with this door. So you get phassa, the contact. Actually, the contact is the contact between the consciousness that arises in the door and the sense object. And this contact between the consciousness and sense object will give rise to feeling, vedana. And vedana in turn will give rise to tanha, craving. And tanha will give rise to upadana, grasping or clinging. And when we have strong grasping, then we perform new actions again. So we develop karma bhava. So karma bhava. Actually, we say the upadana pachaya bhava. So we say that bhava is 2 kinds, karma bhava and upapati bhava. And the karma bhava means karma formation. That is, it is again, the 29 karmas are formed again because of grasping. So all living beings, they perform new action, like both moral action and immoral action. So they develop these 29 karmas again. Now these 29 karmas, when they bear result, they will produce the rebirth process, upapati bhava. So when they produce a rebirth process, just like the sankhara produce vijnana and nama rupa. So again, this rebirth, the process, upapati bhava, refer to this vijnana and nama rupa. They refer to vijnana nama rupa, that is the new existence. So this should be put here. So you can just, so here also, we should put in this too. Here, the upapati bhava, rebirth process. That means bhava is divided into two parts. Karma bhava is 29 karma, and then upapati bhava is refers to these 32 resultant consciousness, 35 mental factors, and the 12, the 18 kamaja rupa. And the arising of these, the consciousness, mental factor, and the materiality is called jati. So that is what we say, bhava pachaya jati. That karma bhava, again conditions the arising of rebirth. So rebirth means the arising of these upapati bhava. And then when you get the rebirth, then aging and death, jara varana, will follow. So when you get aging and death, so just like in a human being, we also have the 5 resultant that we call the worry. So worry. So what are the 5 resultant? We have just said worry, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. So they will arise again. So these are the 12 factors. Now, of these 12 factors, avijja and sankhara belongs to the past existence. So we say they represent the past period. And the result of this sankhara is this represent the present existence. So when you get the vijnana nama rupa arising in this life, you get a new existence. So So we say when you have all mentality materially, you will also have the 6 internal bases, the 6 sense objects, and then the 6 external sense objects come in contact, so you get Tassa Vedana. And when Vedana becomes strong, when Vedana rises, you will give rise to craving Tanha. And when Tanha grows to Upadana, grasping, you perform new actions again in this life. So all these, the 8 factors, they belong to the present existence. So we could say they belong to the present period. Now when this karma goes up, the new karma that we perform in this existence, the bare result, then we get the new existence and the future existence. So the future existence will begin with rebirth, and then we have aging and death, as well as worry, lamentation, pain, greed, and despair. So these belong to the future existence. So these are 3 periods, and these are the 12 factors. Okay.
我哋睇呢個緣起嘅類別啦，喺12言支入面咧有一啲嘅特性咁我哋咧可以將佢分成唔同嘅種類啦，就係去討論呢12個特性嘅。咁首先第一個咧就係三世，咁三世咧就包括上一世、過去世啦，同埋而家嘅現在世啦，咁同埋將來世呢個三時。咁第一種嘅類別。咁呢三時入邊咧，第二個 column 咧就講到係呢一個12支12支。咁呢個12支咧就係包括呢個12緣起嘅過程嘅12個過程啦。咁我哋可以將呢12支咧就分開個3個時間嘅。咁大家都睇到啦，第一個時間咧就係過去生啦。咁過去生佢有2個緣支啦。咁就會緣起今生我哋呢一條生命咁同一度咧，我哋今生經過一連串嘅活動之後咧，咁最後咧就會變咗有啦呢個有咧就會緣起下一生嗰個生命咁呢個就係三時同埋12支嘅關係咁最後咧就最右手邊嗰個咧就係嗰啲重要嘅過程啦，或者叫4時對住4要啦。咁呢4個過程咧就係講緊咧我哋呢3時入面所經歷一啲重要嘅一啲嘅時刻、一啲嘅過程咁大家睇到呢張表嘅時候咧，會睇到咧呢個12言支咧喺過去生同埋現在生嘅交界呢個位咧係乜嘢產生作用咧？就係呢個言呢個言。咁不過我哋咧就喺呢度咧將佢叫做行咁呢個行咧就大家記得有29種嘅思心所包括善與不善啦，所引發出嚟嘅呢一個造業嘅動作咁佢咧去到呢一個轉折點嘅時候咧，佢就會緣起呢個色啦，色即係我哋講阿毗達摩究竟下邊嘅心啦，咁咧跟住就有呢個名啦，名同埋色啦，呢3樣嘢加埋之後咧，就變成嗰3個究竟化合併之後咧，就變咗一個完整嘅人啦咁於是乎咧就出現咗呢個六處或者咧準確啲講就係6入處咁喺講呢個6處緣支嘅時候，我哋都提過啦，呢個其實即係我哋嘅門嚟㗎6種感官嘅門，包括眼耳鼻舌身意門啦咁呢個門咧再講得清楚啲，大家都知啦，係叫淨色啦呢度喺呢個緣支嗰度已經解釋咗㗎啦。咁我哋透過呢一個意識嘅透過呢啲門啦即係6個門啦，就同外面嘅色聲香味觸法一相觸之後呢個一相觸之後咧，就會產生各種嘅感覺。咁呢啲感覺咧就會繼續產生呢個貪愛啦，跟住有取啦，咁跟住就有有咁呢個有咧就分開2個步驟啦，一個係造業嘅，一個係果報嘅過程啦咁喺現在生同埋將來生呢一個轉折點咧，同埋過去生同埋現在生呢個轉折點咧個作用一樣啦，就係個業嘅作用兩個都係一個業嘅作用嚟嘅。咁不過喺現在生同將來生呢個轉折咧，我哋就唔叫色唔叫行啦，我哋叫做業有咁呢個 個業友咧，其實喺翻呢邊咧就包括兩個過程啦。其實當頭先話咧應該將呢度擺翻嚟呢邊咁呢個就係身友啦，呢、個就業友，一個係造業，一個係果報啦，就會緣起下一生嗰、個叫生即係呢兩個係一樣嘅咁呢個輪迴啦，生咧，當你生咗之後咧，就會有必然會出現嘅呢一個老啦同埋死咁另外嗰5個唔一定會出現嘅，即係次級嘅出現嘅咧，就包括頭先大家都講到啦，愁呢個悲苦憂怒嗰5個咁我哋睇到啦，按3時去分，同埋按12支去分咧，將佢分到咧可以咁樣分法嘅。個關鍵咧就係呢邊個位啦大家都好熟悉啦。咁另外咧就係呢一邊嗰啲咁嘅過程就解釋咗呢一邊嘅即係呢幾個形式之間嘅互相之間嘅作用咁嘅嘢。
Now, by describing the 11 possible relations, concerning with 3 existence, the past existence, the present existence, the future existence. So you should understand this process can be repeated, continuously and endlessly. And now there is one outstanding feature of this dependent origination. So it describes the round of rebirths of all living beings. So now, though we describe the 11 causal relations containing 12 factors, 12 factors here. Now when you have jara, aging, and marana, death, and then worry, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair, you are not happy. Will you be happy? You are not happy when you get that. If you are not happy, you develop anger-rooted consciousness. As soon as anger-rooted consciousness, like worry, lamentation, they associate with anger-rooted consciousness. So as soon as you get anger-rooted consciousness, avijja, ignorance, arises in that consciousness. So when you get this aging and death, you get avijja again. So it will repeat again, and then it will repeat again. So now we can say the law of dependent origination is like the wheel of ikat, the wheel of ikat or the wheel of your bicycle. So in your wheel of bicycle, you have the support, the support. So these 12 factors, they describe as the 12 supports of the wheel of dependent origination. And this wheel is turning round and round. So actually, I understand that wheel in this my new edition of Abhidhamma Course. So some of you already have this on page 251. So in the Sikha also have it. Page 251, we have that the wheel of the Paticca Samuppada, the wheel of becoming and dying. So actually it is the wheel of the dependent origination. So there we have 12 supports there. The 12 supports represent these 12 factors. So we begin with avijja. So when the avijja is on the ground, then you turn clockwise. After avijja, sankhara will come. And after sankhara, so then the vijnana will come. And then after that, nama rupa, samana, phasa, vinatana, upadana, kama bhava, upavadipva, that is jara marana, and then avijja again. So it goes round and round. So that describes the round of rebirth of every individual in the whole universe.
咁呢個 呢個係輪迴嘅，不停咁緣起嘅咁呢個過程咧，就係當去到老死嘅時候咧，喺呢個老死入邊咧，個過程入邊，我哋難免咧就會有好多唔同嘅情緒特別係一啲唔好嘅情緒。咁呢啲老死同埋呢啲加埋我頭先講5個情緒咧，呢個親憎心嗰5個情緒咧，就會緣起無明嘅將來即係下一行再下行嗰個無明咁跟住又做業啦，咁然後咧就輪迴不止咁樣咧，不息咁樣咧，不停咁樣重複。咁呢個過程咧，如果我哋唔去修行解脫咧，佢係無盡嘅即係唔會有停止嘅一日咁所以咧，我哋睇翻我哋又可以將呢12個緣支咧，就用一個圓圈去代表咁當我哋一個圓圈去代表嘅時候咧，咁我哋嘅生命嗰個軌跡咧，就係個圓周啦咁中間咧呢個車轆圓周啦咁中間一啲軸咧要支援佢嘅咧，就係嗰個12個緣支咁呢12個緣支咧，佢不停咁樣轉作用咧，跟住就產生咗我哋無窮無盡嘅每一期嘅一個生命咁頭先教授就講本身咧就有呢幅圖咁另其實舊本書都有嘅，如果大家查下380都有啲類似嘅圖
So on the top of this, you can write down 20 modes. 20 modes. So these 20 modes consist of the 5 past causes, which will give rise to the 5 present effects. And then we again develop the 5 present causes, and then that will give rise to the future 5 effects. The 5 future effects. So altogether 20 modes. Now, this is again very interesting. So, the question is, what is the past causes that give rise to the present existence? So, what are the causes that give rise to the present existence? So, this is very important to know why we are born. Not the question why we are born. So, this is what is the question. So, when you look into the past, the period, we find avijja sankhara, this two. So we take these two as the 2 causes that give rise to this present existence. As we say, sankhara paccaya vijnana. So when the 29 karma give rise to rebirth consciousness, mentality, and then materiality, we have all the 6 sense bases. So this represents the present existence. So these 2 immediate past causes that give rise to the present existence. But there are also some other causes. So you have to look for some other causes. So now if you look in this present period, this 8 and 9, the craving and grasping, they are the cause to form this karma bhava in the present existence. So these are similar to this. So in the past, because of ignorance, avijja, the different living beings, they perform various karma. Now in the present life, because of craving and grasping, so again, they perform all the 29 types of karma. Now, the reasoning here is, now they say avijja is defilement. Avijja is defilement, and it is involved in the round of rebirth. And now this tanha is lobha, remember, greed. And then upadana stands for greed and the wrong view, deity, the wrong view. So this greed and wrong view, they are also defilement, and they are also involved in the round of rebirth. So, and besides, they arise in the same consciousness. So they arise in the lobha, mula, chitta, greed-rooted consciousness together. So we say, when you get greed-rooted consciousness, deity, the wrong view, is also present. So remember in In the Lopa Mula Chitta, you have Deity Kata Samyutta. Lopa Mula Chitta, Deity is present. It's saying you don't see it. If you don't see it, we have to show you the chant number 1 again. So we say, but the greed, chant number 1. So when greed-rooted consciousness arises, greed is present, greed is the root. And then here, Deity Kata Samyutta means Deity is present, associated with the wrong view. So wrong view is present. And we say also, the moha, associated with all this world in moral mind. So moha is also present as the root. So that means lopa, moha, and greed. They arise together. So if you take the avijja, which is moha, you must also take the greed and the deity, the wrong view. So now we go back to the table. So to the table 8.1, page 315. So we say if you take sankhara, you should also include this tatna upadana. So we say now, we get the process 1, 2, 8, 9. Now again, sankhara is karma, it represents 29 karma. 29 karma. And then karma also represents 29 karma. So as they represent the karma, similarly, so if you take sankhara, they say you should also take karma. So we also put in number 10. So that you have 5 past causes. 5 past causes that give rise to the present existence. So these, so you can explain this first.
跟住嗰個分類法去解釋言知嘅咧，就係我哋叫做28。咁28即係20個毛。咁28咧就將呢啲言知咧，就按照過去、現在、將來嘅因同埋果咧，呢個因一個果咧，就將佢分類。咁首先我哋睇到咧，過去嘅五因，咁過去嘅五因咧就包括無明啦、行啦、愛取有啦，無明行愛取有。咁咧呢5樣嘢咧就係過去我哋做業嘅時候咧做下嘅業因，咁就會引發之後嗰啲嘢咁我哋首先睇啦，無明啦，同埋呢個行啦，兩個加埋咧，咁大家知道無明咧就係愚痴啦，咁加埋過去生做出嚟嘅業，因為無明緣行嘅做出嚟嘅愚痴嘅動作咧，咁咧呢個就係一個因地上面嘅過程，即係做業嘅因。咁但係點解呢個愛咧、取咧、有咧又有關係咧？咁我哋頭先講過咧，呢個愛啦、取啦、有啦，前邊呢兩個咧，其實佢嘅背後咧係貪嚟嘅，貪根心8個貪根心嚟嘅，咁呢8個貪根心咧，佢背後咧其實就係程度唔同啦。頭先講嗰4樣嘢唔同啦，其中一個係個程度唔同。咁當佢互相具足咗緣起之後咧，就去到後面呢一個咁呢個咧就叫做有啦，呢個係業有咁呢個業有咧同嗰個行咧係一樣嘅，係有29種嘅相應嘅思心所，即係做業嗰個心所咧係互相相應嘅咁所以咧佢係當我哋講嘅因嘅時候咧，就一定要加埋佢㗎啦，即係因為呢個兩個都係做業嘅生命。兩個都係做業嘅過程嚟嘅咁同時咧，我哋睇到咧呢個貪咧，如果大家睇翻呢個貪根心嘅時候咧，貪根心入邊咧就有一個叫做如果你背得啦，緣居邪見相應有行無行咁樣嗰幾個啦咁其中呢一個邪見相應咧，同埋邪見不相應咧係唔同嘅咁但係有4個咧係邪見相應嘅。咁頭先想同大家數過啦咁呢個邪見相應出嚟嘅時候咧，就必然牽涉到呢個痴根心嘅咁所以喺呢個情況之下，貪同痴咧係一齊嘅咁痴咧即係無明啦，頭先嗰度講過啦咁所以咧喺呢個輪迴嘅基本嘅道理嗰度咧，其 其實就係呢一個無明啦同埋行啊。咁呢個去到呢一度嘅動力咧，就係基本上係貪啦同埋呢個痴啊，呢個加埋。咁呢兩邊都係一個造業嘅嚟嘅。咁造業咧，其實就擺咗係因度。咁喺呢一度係個個嘅原因，所以咧就會包含1、2啦、8、9、10啊。咁教授都不停咁講啊，唔知大家有冇留意啦嚇？呢個8、9、10咧，即係特別係10呢一個過程咧，同呢一個係好似嘅，即係呢個轉變點嗰度係好似嘅。不過用嘅形上嚟講嘅，因為佢嘅作用。
So what we explain now, I wrote that on page 313. So please go to page 313. So when we go back, so now we say about the 20 modes, and we say there are 5 past forces. So we say when we look at the past period, we see only avijja sankhara. So to be taken as the past forces. So we take this two first. Then we explain. But avijja is idisa. Idisa means defilement. That defiles the mind and that burns the mind. And vata means the realm of rebirth. So we say this, the avijja, idisa, it is involved in the realm of rebirth. So Dhamma is the reality, ultimate reality. So we say these are the avijja is the defilement that is involved in the realm of rebirth. So also Abhidhamma and Upadana, they are also defilement and they are also involved in the realm of rebirth. Since these Vata Dhamma, the realm of rebirth Dhamma, occur together in the same consciousness, Dhamma and Upadana must also be included in the past forces. So we put in Dhamma and Upadana. Again we say Sankhara is Kamma Vata Dhamma. So Sankhara means Kamma, the original action, and also the potential energy of that action we call the Kamma. And in this Kamma is also involved in the realm of rebirth. And so also is Kamma Bhava. They also mean Pranimana, just like Sankhara. So they are the same. Thus, when Sankhara is taken, so when you read this, so if Sankhara is taken, so where are we? Sankhara, so thus when Sankhara is taken into account, Kamma Bhava is also implicitly accounted for. So we have 5 Dhamma, namely avijja, Sankhara, Tanha, Upadana and Kamma Bhava as the past forces. So now I can explain to you why this avijja, Sankhara, and the avijja, Tanha, Upadana are taken together. So whenever we perform either a moral action or immoral action, these 3, avijja, tanha, upadana, they are always the background forces. For example, we say when we wanted to eat a roasted chicken very much, so you kill the chicken. So why do you kill the chicken? You ask that. So now you think, roasted chicken is very tasty. So in the ultimate sense, roasted chicken does not exist. It is ignorance that gives us the illusion, roasted chicken exists and it is very tasty. So because ignorance gives us that wrong vision, craves for it. And then grasping, try to eat it, very, very much, so then you perform killing action. And the same thing when we say, when you want to become celestial beings, you also perform meritorious deeds. And again, in the ultimate sense, celestial beings do not exist. The rich person, the kings do not exist. But no, the ignorance gives us the illusion. Oh, celestial beings exist. They enjoy great pleasure. And also rich people, they exist. And they enjoy great pleasure. So now craving, once you get this existence. And when the craving becomes very strong grasping, then you perform meritorious deeds in order to become a celestial being. So in all actions, all these three, they are always the background forces. Ignorance, craving, and the grasping. Now, when you perform actions, so when you perform like the killing, you are developing billions of anger-rooted consciousness. That is immoral mind. Accompanied by billions of volition. So we say these volitions are karma. Remember, volitions are karma. We call this volition karma. Volition karma. They arise together with the consciousness. They arise together. And they are prompting all the mental factors and consciousness to accomplish this action, to do their part, to accomplish the action. So we call them karma. So these volitions, we call them karma. But in these immoral minds and these volitions, as soon as they rise, they dissolve. But when they dissolve, they leave behind the karma properties, the karma seeds, we say, in our mental state. So we call this asynchronous karma, remember. So they arise together. There's two types of karma. Now we take this, the volition, volition to be sankhara, and the karma seed to be karma bhava. So when you take this like this, sankhara and karma bhava should put together, should be together. So you get the five forces, the past forces that produce the present existence. Okay.
咁我哋繼續睇翻呢度就28嗰度啦，3分13咁喺即係頭先剛才咧同大家繼續講翻，詳細解釋翻咧28嘅第一種法呢個過去嘅原因。咁呢一度咧，我哋會睇到啦，首先有無明啦，有行啦，有愛啦，貪愛啦，無明行貪愛啦，跟住有呢個取啦，咁跟住咧就有呢個有呢個有咧就轉嚟嘅現有咁我哋如果睇翻喺過去嗰度咧，我哋睇到呢個一般嚟講咧，我哋會諗住咧，咦，淨係無明同埋行咧先至係過去嘅因嚟嘅喎。咁但係其實咧，我哋知道咧喺呢一個12言支入邊咧，無明咧呢一個言支咧特別咧係講到係推動輪迴嘅法推動輪迴嘅煩惱嘅法，佢係一種隱藏嘅頭先教授都另一個嚴重去隱藏嘅一啲煩惱嘅法推動我哋去輪迴嘅咁呢一個無明咧，同時咧亦都喺呢個貪愛啦，同埋呢一個取咧係存在嘅咁大家記得啦，取咧有4個噶嘛，咁其中一個叫做邪見取，係咪？咁仲有戒禁取啦，同埋我取咁呢3個咧其實都係同無明相應嘅即係取入邊啦，先分咗幾個啦，都係同無明相應咁所以其實佢哋係講緊同一樣嘢嚟嘅，佢哋咧係俾同一組嘅心咧係相應而生起嘅咁所以咧無明同埋呢一個愛啦，同埋呢個取咧係一個相應一齊嘅嘢嚟嘅，係俾同一組嘅心咧去同佢相應一齊生起嘅。咁剩低嗰兩個就係呢一個行啦，同埋呢個業有，即係有咁呢個行咧我哋講到啦，就係有29種嘅思心所所引發出嚟嘅呢一啲嘅現象造業嘅現象，咁就包含呢個善心同埋不善心啦咁呢個咧我哋頭先舉到3個例子啦，包括劏雞啦，或者想做一個有錢人啦而佈施啦，或者想升天而佈施啦。咁頭先講呢個過程嘅時候咧，由思 思想到行動，我哋咧係要有做一個造業嘅過程啊。咁呢啲咁嘅造業過程咧，就當你由思想到具體行動，成個過程入面咧，有無數次嘅心咧就會不停咁樣生滅嘅。啊，頭先講到兩個特性啦，重複啦同埋無止盡，不停咁樣去生滅啊。咁佢背後嘅推動嘅背後一路推動嘅力量咧，就係呢三度啦。啊，即係無明啦、愛啦，同埋呢個取啦。你做緊任何嘅業咧，呢三個都喺背景後面咧，不停咁樣推動加強佢。咁即係貪同情見啦，即係唔同啦。咁當你不停咁樣推動嘅時候咧，隨住每一次嘅心嘅生滅啦，之前嗰個種下嘅因咧，就會變成一個種啊。呢個種咧喺適當嘅時候咧，佢就會變成一個具體嘅行為啦、造業啦。咁跟住咧越嚟越強嘅力量啦。咁最後你真係做到出嚟嘅時候，你產生到大嘅呢一個結果啊。咁所以咧行咧同埋呢一個業有，佢又係同頭先嗰三組法佢有同樣嘅性質啊。即係話行同埋呢個業有咧，本身係同一樣嘅嘢嘅，係同時俾呢三組嘢推動嘅。所以我哋咧都當咗佢係過去嘅五因啊，其中嗰兩個因係相同。
I would like to get some more, which is not mentioned in the book, because it's quite interesting. Now, when you just please show that 20 books again, just the previous one. So when we say that this karma bhava produce the result, it will produce these five. So we already know karma bhava, the 29 karma, when they produce result in consciousness, associated mental factors, and then the materiality. And then when you have all consciousness, mental factors, and materiality, you already have five aggregates of existence. So you already become a person. And then you will develop this six internal bases that we call sixth sense, the sixth sense door. Now we say when you have the sixth sense door developed in you, then the sixth sense of it will come in contact with phassa for life, and phassa simultaneously will produce vedana. So these five factors are taken as the present effects of the past five causes. So this is what we understand from here. When karma bhava bear result, so it produces the present existence, these are the past causes. When they bear result, they produce the present existence. Now, when this karma bhava produces the present existence, it also needs again the support of this avidya, tanha, and upadana. It needs the support of these three again. So now we give the explanation. So we say the karma bhava is just like a karma seed, like a plant seed, Now they discovered, like some archaeologists, when they dig the earth, like in the Mediterranean, so they found some bottles containing plant seeds. So these plant seeds, they said, it would be about 3,000 years old, but the seeds are still in that bottle. Now when they put these seeds onto the earth and pour water, and all the light and the air are also present, they give rise to a new plant. So that means for the seed to give rise to a new plant, you need the support of the earth, the water, and then air and light. So the same thing, when the karma produces result, it needs the support of avidya. Avidya is just like the earth. And then tanha, craving, is just like the water. And then this the upadana, grasping, it represent the greed and the wronging. So it acts as the air and the light. So only with the support of these three, then the karma can produce the new existence. So we saw many evidence of like this. So now I describe like in the Dhamma, the real creator. For example, during the times of the Buddha, a very rich Brahmin by the name of Kaudeya, so he taught his son, Subha, my son, don't give any money to donation. If you give your money, you just waste it. You will get no benefit, no result. So if you keep on giving your money, finally you will become poor. So this man, he is involved in millionaire. He never performed any meritorious deed. So when he died, he became a dog in his house. So why did he become a dog? When you don't have any good karma, remember, you will have the bad karma. You will have the chance to bear result. So when the bad karma bear result, you will be reborn in the vocal state. So in the vocal state where you are reborn, now he is born in his heart. Because he is attached to his heart. That is craving and grasping. So he was born there. And again, by the Imam, by the name of Mahatissa during the Buddha's time. So his sister offered him a new pair of robes. So the robe is very beautiful and very good, so he wanted to wear it, but he fell ill. And he died. And when he died, he was still thinking about this robe, the new robe, wearing this robe. So when he died, he became a flea in that robe, in that new robe. So that means you'll be born where you are grasping, you are clinging, avijjatana upadana. And those who perform meritorious deeds, wishing to become celestial beings. So when the God karma has the chance to bear them new existence, they will be reborn in celestial realm. So avijja thinks the celestial being to exist. Craving, craves for it, and grasping, grasp it. So when you die, this good karma will send you there. So we say, when you perform meritorious deeds, you should make the wish. So this karma will send you there, will send you there. Okay.
我哋頭先咧教授咧就話咧解釋啦過去嘅原因啦，點樣造成現在嘅呢個五果咁現在嘅五果咧就分成頭先睇到啦呢個色、名色啦，呢兩個加埋咧就係其實呢個係心所啦，同埋呢個色法咧係齊晒㗎啦，咁就變咗個人咁透過過去嘅業力咧推動咗呢三樣嘢齊咗就係呢個人啦。咁我哋就具備6種嘅根門或者咧六入處呢度咁其實即係講緊我哋嘅感官嗰個器官由呢個淨色所生出嚟嘅各種嘅色法，跟住就感官器官啦，就會同外界嘅6種嘅塵咧相觸，一觸咗嘅同時咧就會有呢個各種嘅感受出咗嚟嘅咁特別係觸同埋受咧係同時間會發生嘅咁咧就頭先講到咧喺我哋所有嘅行為入邊咧，佢背後咧就一定會出現3種嘅推動力㗎。呢3種推動力咧就包括無明啦、貪愛啦，同埋呢個取呢3個咧好似背景音樂咁樣咧，就不停咁樣出現嘅咁然後咧先至會加埋嗰個適當嘅業咧，咁先至會出現呢個人即係如果冇咗呢3個或者淨係有業冇咗呢3個咧，係唔會出現嘅咁有一個例子可以講明㗎，就係啲科學家咧畫嗰啲樽出嚟嘅時候咧，就發現啲樽入面咧係有一啲嘅種子喺度。咁呢個樽咧就已經有3000年㗎啦咁歷史啦，咁種子咧即係估計都係3000年啦，啲科學家。咁跟住咧就嘗試種下佢喎咁當你有土壤啦、水啊、陽光等等適當嘅條件夾埋一齊之後咧，咁嗰啲種子期間咧就會生成一個新嘅植物出嚟嘅。咁呢個種子咧其實咧喺呢個過程入面咧，其實就相對於我哋講嘅業有啦咁當呢個業有 貪愛咁樣，而光同埋空氣咧就係好似電流咁樣啊。咁呢三樣嘢加埋咧就即係呢個除下，咁加埋然後咧就先至會係存在嘅啊。咁跟住教授同大家分享咗兩個故事啦。第一個咧就係嗰個婆叫個仔布施啊，佢話咧你布施咧就啲財物不停咁樣流失咧，咁咧你就會好窮㗎啦將來啊。咁於是乎呢個婆咧，當佢死亡之後咧，佢就即係投身去做咗隻狗啊，即係間屋入邊咧喺佢自己間屋入邊做隻狗。咁狗咧出生到咧屬於呢一個惡趣啊。咁點解佢會去延伸到呢個惡趣咧？就係因為有呢三樣嘢加埋啦，呢一個無明啦、貪愛啦，同埋呢一個有啦，咁對財物嘅貪愛啦，係咪？咁有咧，大家知道啦，就係邪見啦，再加埋無明咧、唔痴啦，咁呢三樣嘢咧，不停咁樣推動佢去作意啦，乃至於行為啦，咁於是乎最後咧，當佢死亡生嘅時候、結生嘅時候咧，就會去到變咗隻狗啦，即係呢個過程咁樣出現咗啦。咁第二個故事咧就係長老阿提薩啦，咁佢咧就收到個供養，供養俾佢一件新嘅袍，咁佢又好中意好想着啦，咁點知咧佢又喺呢一刻死咗。咁一結生之後咧，就由於有無明啦、貪愛啦，同埋有咧三樣特別係取加埋咧，咁變成一個好強，加埋要有咁佢變成一個好強烈嘅推動力咧，就令到佢變成一隻實就繼續生存喺嗰個袍嗰度繼續去即係執取佢。咁頭先有第三個例子咧，就係有啲人咧做咗啲嘅善業咁呢啲嘅善業都係有呢三樣嘢推動㗎啦，背景音樂嗰三樣嘢推動啦。咁當佢透過不停咁樣發現啦、加強個善業之後咧，咁佢今生死亡之後咧，佢就會結生去呢一個即係天界嗰度咁所以咧，我哋有啲乜嘢嘅無明、貪愛同埋取咧，我哋咧就會喺嗰個狀態之下咧，相應咧去結生開咁所以咧為咗加強呢啲咁嘅善業所以咧我哋喺布施嘅時候咧，應該咧係要發願嘅，咁就可以將呢三樣嘢加強。咁喺適當嘅緣由嘅時候咧，加埋一齊就會結生下一生比較好啲嘅來世。
I just like to tell you, there's two men here on page 46 of my Karma to be created. They are my senior actually, but we have the chance to walk together. So these two men, they remember their past existences very well. Very, very well. Very interesting. So you have to read about that in this book. But what I'd like to tell you is, there's Dr. Daha, the first man. Dr. Daha is a skin specialist. He's a medical doctor and a skin specialist. And he worked in the Institute of Medicine as professor of this subject. And then they have the exchange program with the Oxford, the Oxford University and in England. So the medical college there, and there's our institute. Exchange program. One professor came here to teach, and Dr. Dalla went there to teach there. So when he got to England, he asked for two favors. One is to pay respect to the Dr. Fleming. Dr. Fleming is the doctor who invented penicillin. Penicillin has saved millions of lives in the Second World War, during the Second World War. So as a medical doctor, he regarded him as a great benefactor. So he wanted to pay respect to this man. This man already died. So his tomb was in the basement of the public cathedral. He got the permission, so he went to the man in charge of that cathedral basement. And on the tomb of the Dr. Fleming, they made the statue of Dr. Fleming. So, not standing, so not just like the hand, about to shake hand. But he didn't shake hands with Dr. Dalai, but according to that man's statement, the Dr. Fleming might have shaken hands to several people. So, where is Dr. Fleming in that case? After he died, where he born? He was there. That means if he could shake hands, you can say he is there. Like the Christians, they believe that when you die, so your soul will be in your tomb. So if you think like that, so now he became a ghost of that soul. He may be a celestial being or a woeful ghost, we don't know. But as he have done very good work, he may be a celestial being. So still there. Then another favor that Dr. Dalai asked for is to pay again the respect to King George VI tomb, because at one time Myanmar is the colony of the British, and at that time the King George VI is the king. So at one time he is the king of Myanmar, you might say. So he was granted the permission. Now the King George VI tomb was in the royal cathedral. So he went to the man again. So that man who is in charge took him to the basement where the tombs are there. Now they have to open the gate to get down into the room where they kept the tomb. So that man, before he opened the lock, he beat on that, boom, 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 he beat. And only then he opened it, and then they went in. So Dr. Dalai asked him again, out of curiosity, why did you beat the lock before you opened it? Because previously when we came, I opened the lock very gently, making no noise. And when we entered that room of the tomb, we saw King George VI sitting on his tomb. So again, you can see where they are. So that's what we say, where you are craving and grasping, you will be born there, you will be there. Okay.
咁跟住當然大家講一啲日事啦，講咗呢個語文會嗰啲同有關嘅嘢。咁喺本書入邊40個月嗰度咧有個常咁樣嚇。咁頭先當日講嘅故事咧就係其中一個上面嗰個嚇。咁呢一位當日咧係一個醫生嚟嘅嚇。咁佢咧就係研究皮膚嘅嚇，皮膚專科醫生嚟嘅嚇。咁佢哋呢兩個人咧都能夠記起前身嘅好多嘢嚇，同埋有睇得到嚇。咁咧有一次咧佢咧就去咗牛津大學嗰度咧嘅醫學院度做一個交流活動啦。咁佢去之前咧就要求佢多個安排啊。咁第一個咧就係佢咧就想去拜祭呢個Dr. Fleming啊。咁佢就發明咗呢個紅西林嗰啲嘢㗎，咁就喺2次世界大戰嘅時候咧就救咗好多人啊。咁佢咧就覺得Dr. Fleming咧就即係做咗好多功德啊，咁就好景仰佢，咁就想去即係拜學，即係因為嗰陣時已經死咗啦，所以咧係拜祭佢冇啦嚇。咁Dr. Fleming咧就嘅墓咧喺教堂嗰度嘅啊。咁大家去過啲大嗰啲都知啦，喺嗰啲 basement 咧係有啲設施嚟嘅嚇。咁跟住咧佢